Now, when Herpa doesn't deliver the models we want, we can revert to custom model makers. I have in the past already reviewed some custom models, but today we will review a model of one of the newer stars on the custom model making horizon in form of TWC. And with that, hello and welcome to a new episode of Review, where we today will take a closer look at an Airbus A330-300 of Brussels Airlines. Now, the donor model is of course of Herpa Wings, but as we can see, the box has already been modified by TWC Customs. That means we have the Brussels Airlines branding here on top of the box, and also when we look on the backside of the box, we get a lovely image of the aircraft model inside. We have the TWC branding. And I guess, this is kind of still correct. This is basically a limited edition. And overall, the box has just been shined up quite a bit here by TWC. Really lovely work because, yes, it's not a necessity when we have a custom model to also customize the box, but it sure does add quite a bit to the box. So very well done by TWC Customs. But what about the model? And here she is, the Airbus A330-300 in the current standard livery of Brussels Airlines, or the new standard livery of Brussels Airlines, since we have yet to see any Scale 500 aircraft models featuring this livery by any die-cast manufacturer. So we have to go the custom way if we want to have this livery featured in our collection, and I did so with TWC Customs, and he has truly done a quite remarkable job with this aircraft model, something I will show you throughout this review. Now, as mentioned, the donor model is of course of Herpa Wings, which is a good thing because the A330 mold of Herpa Wings is really quite good. But I can't say which specific A330 he has used for this model because I never really asked him, and as the box has been modified, I can't see what the original branding was. But nonetheless, let's take a look at the model, starting up with the tail section where we have on the vertical stabilizer the new Brussels Airlines branding or color scheme. Something I would like to highlight here is actually how well placed the decals are. When you look here on the top of the stabilizer, the gray dots, they are actually going over from one side to the other seamlessly, so really nice work here with the placement of the decals. Now, when we then take a look at the fuselage, we can see we do of course have the Belgian flag, the flag of the European Union, and the full registration code of the aircraft. We do also have some quite neat detailing in the cabin doors, that looks quite nice. And then we can move to the back of the aircraft to the very tail where we have some detailing around the APU exhaust. I think that is a leftover of the original model. Now, if you move to the front of the aircraft, we can see across the fuselage we have the Brussels Airlines branding, and again accompanied by quite a few of these colorful dots. We do also have some static ports printed on here, and again some quite neat detailing in the cabin doors, as well as the Star Alliance logo next to the front cabin door. Then we of course also have the cockpit section where we find the cockpit windows. Now, I'm not entirely sure if this is still a leftover of the original model or if he has also added decals to this part of the aircraft model, which just tells you that the decals are placed really nicely and are of quite high quality when you can't quite determine if this is original detailing or if this is a decal. What I would, however, have wished for would have been some window wipers. I think that would have been nice at least to have that as well. But we do get quite a bit more detailing on the engine nacelles. When we take a look at them, we can see they have of course been kept in all white, just as most of the fuselage, but do have the silver leading edge and the safety markings. And then, and I'm not sure what the name of this part of the aircraft is, but the connection basically between the nacelle and the wing. Here we also have a decal added, which looks really lovely, adds quite a bit to the engines overall. And by the way, I did not ask him to do this. This is something he added by himself, and he did also not know that I would be reviewing the model. And then apart from that, of course, we have the lovely physical detailing of these Herpa engines, which normally always look quite nice on the A330. But let's move on from the engine nacelles to the wings themselves, which you should also take a closer look at, starting off with the top side, where we have the different flap slats and spoilers carved out quite nicely. We don't have any markings here on the upper side, but let's look on the underside. Here we of course have more nice physical detailing, and then of course the registration code of the aircraft added as well. And then the A330 of course comes with these lovely winglets, where TWC of course has also added the Brussels Airlines branding. I'm not quite sure that I understand the new Brussels Airlines logo, but it looks nice on the winglets. And then we of course also can take a quick look at the landing gear of this aircraft model. This is the standard landing gear that Herpa uses for all the Airbus A330s. Looks good at the main landing gear. Also the front landing gear is not too shabby and is improved quite dramatically by simply adding a little red dot. This is something of course TWC has done, but it just adds so much to the landing gear, and I don't understand why this is not a standard with Herpa models. On the belly of the aircraft, we then do have a hole in the fuselage for a stand that is not included with this aircraft model, neither with the donor model as well as, of course, not with the customized model. I don't care in this case because it doesn't destroy any printed details. And then last but not least, we do also have the doors to the cargo compartments, but do also notice here how much more detailed they are than what we normally get from Herpa Wings. So again here, quite well done decals. So there we have it, the Airbus A330-300 in the new standard livery of Brussels Airlines from TWC Customs, using a base model from Herpa Wings in scale 1 to 500. And what can we say about this aircraft model? Now, I have for years been hoping for Herpa to release any Brussels Airlines models, and of course especially since Brussels Airlines introduced their new standard livery, but Herpa has yet to deliver. But now I don't really care because I have this as a custom model, and this model will in any case have way more details than Herpa's models would ever be released in. So I guess a win-win for me. Now, what we can say about this aircraft model is, of course, that it relies on the A330 mold from Herpa Wings. That's good because that is genuinely quite good. The decals are really excellent. I mean, the placement is great. You don't really notice any of the edges of these decal papers, so that's really neat work here from TWC. And something I've also noticed, and I think is worth mentioning, is just the fact that, of course, when you get very, very close to these decal papers, you notice a little bit of graining. That's how it is printed. But I have noticed that there is considerably less graining, or the graining is much finer than with, for example, other custom models that I have reviewed so far here on the channel. So really high quality decals papers used with this custom model, but also the print on the decal papers is of a really high standard. So in the end, I can only say that I'm a happy collector. I finally got myself a Brussels Airlines in the new livery, and it has way more details than I would ever get from Herpa Wings. So with that, we have reached the end of today's episode, but let me know in the comment section below what you think about this custom model and custom models in general. Is this something you have already tried out? Have you added some custom models to your collection? Let me know in the comment section below what you think about this topic. Now, if you have enjoyed this video, then feel free to leave a like. If you're new around here, why not hit subscribe? And with that, thanks so much for watching. Hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.